Imagine a day like any other. The sun rises, birds sing, and the world goes about its business. But this day is different. This day, the unthinkable happens. A blinding flash, a surge of heat, and a shockwave that shatters the sky. Nuclear war, a nightmare scenario contemplated since the dawn of the atomic age, has become a reality. Cities, once vibrant hubs of human life, are reduced to smouldering ruins. The delicate balance of nature is thrown into chaos, and a pall of radioactive fallout blankets the planet. The immediate aftermath of a nuclear detonation is a scene of unimaginable devastation. Buildings crumble, fires rage, and the very air becomes toxic. For those unfortunate souls caught in the blast radius, there's no chance of survival. The lucky ones, if you can call them that, are those far enough away to escape immediate vaporization, but even for them, a new and terrifying reality awaits. Radiation sickness, starvation, and societal collapse are just some of the horrors they face in a world forever changed. Planning for nuclear war acknowledges the catastrophic global consequences of even a limited exchange. The immediate effects and long-term impacts on the environment and human health would be devastating. Nuclear winter could disrupt agriculture, leading to famine and societal collapse. Governments must ensure command, control, and essential functions survive. Continuity of government plans are among the most closely guarded secrets. These plans ensure governance survives, even if the majority perishes. Deep beneath mountains, hidden in plain sight, lie secret underground bunkers. These structures, built during the Cold War, are designed to withstand nuclear attacks. They are self-contained underground cities with dormitories, mess halls, and medical facilities. Raven Rock Mountain Complex in Pennsylvania is a well-known example. Known as the Underground Pentagon, it can house thousands during a nuclear attack. Built to withstand a direct nuclear hit, it ensures government continuity. Inside, officials have access to communication systems and military operations. Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center in Virginia is another example. Rumored to be the president's survival location during emergencies. Equipped with living quarters, offices, a hospital, and a radio station. These bunkers represent the ultimate insurance policy against national annihilation. Their existence raises profound questions about power and survival. Who decides who lives and who dies? What happens to democracy when power is concentrated? What future awaits those who emerge into a changed world? In the following sections, we will delve deeper into the world of nuclear survival planning, exploring the history, technology, and human stories behind these secret bunkers and the protocols that govern their use. We will examine the chilling logic behind continuity of government plans, the criteria used to determine who is deemed essential for survival, and the ethical dilemmas inherent in such life or death decisions. we will also explore the immediate aftermath of a nuclear attack, the activation of these survival plans, and the challenges of rebuilding a shattered world. Our journey will take us from the depths of these underground fortresses to the halls of power, where decisions made in the shadows could determine the fate of nations. We will hear from experts, historians, and those who have dedicated their lives to preparing for the unthinkable, piecing together the puzzle of what happens when the world as we know it ends. Join us as we venture inside the secret bunkers, explore the chilling protocols, and confront the dark reality of surviving nuclear war. The idea of seeking refuge underground in times of crisis is nothing new. For centuries, humans have sought shelter in caves, tunnels, and other subterranean spaces. In the nuclear age, the underground bunker became a symbol of ultimate security. These bunkers were designed to withstand blast waves, intense heat, and radiation. The construction required vast resources, cutting-edge engineering, and secrecy. Built during the Cold War, these bunkers were a last bastion of civilization. Inside, a surreal world took shape with dormitories, mess halls, and air filtration systems. These bunkers were also command centers for governments to operate post-attack. Meeting rooms and offices were built for decision makers in extreme circumstances. Nestled deep within the mountains of Pennsylvania, USA, lies Raven Rock Mountain Complex, a sprawling underground facility shrouded in secrecy. Known as the Underground Pentagon, Raven Rock symbolizes Cold War paranoia and the fear of nuclear annihilation. Construction began in 1950, ordered by President Truman, to create a secure command center carved into solid rock. It was designed to withstand a nuclear hit. Tunnels, as wide as highways, were reinforced with concrete and steel. Inside, a self-sufficient city took shape, with power, water, and air systems. Its primary purpose was to serve as a command and control center during a nuclear war. While Raven Rock was designed to house the military and essential government personnel, another, even more secretive bunker was built to serve as a sanctuary for the nation's most powerful figures. Located just 46 miles from Washington, D.C., Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center is a sprawling, underground facility, shrouded in even greater secrecy than Raven Rock. Rumored to be the designated survival location for the President of the United States and other high-ranking officials, Mount Weather has been the subject of intense speculation and intrigue for decades. Details about the facility are closely guarded, but it is believed to have been built in the 1950s, during the same Cold War paranoia that spawned Raven Rock. Like its Pennsylvania counterpart, Mount Weather is said to be capable of withstanding a direct hit from a nuclear weapon. Its subterranean chambers protected by layers of concrete, steel, and solid rock. Inside Mount Weather, a self-contained world awaits those chosen few deemed essential to the nation's survival. Beyond the blast doors and airlocks, rumors abound of luxurious living quarters, gourmet dining facilities, and even a private underground railway connecting the facility to other secret locations. While much of this remains speculation, what is known is that Mount Weather is equipped with everything needed to sustain a small city underground for an extended period of time. The existence of Mount Weather, like that of Raven Rock, raises profound questions about the nature of power and the responsibilities of government in the face of existential threats. Who gets to decide who lives and who dies? What criteria are used to determine who is essential for survival and who is left behind? And what happens to the principles of democracy and accountability when power is concentrated in the hands of a select few, hidden away in underground bunkers, while the rest of the world burns? What would it be like to live inside one of these subterranean fortresses, cut off from the outside world and surrounded by the constant threat of annihilation? While the experience would undoubtedly vary depending on the specific bunker and the circumstances, some common themes emerge from the accounts of those who have studied these facilities and those who have trained to survive within their confines. Life in a bunker would be governed by strict rules and routines designed to maintain order and maximize the chances of survival. The air would be thick with the hum of machinery, the constant reminder of the artificial environment sustaining life within the mountain. Natural light would be non-existent, replaced by the harsh glare of fluorescent bulbs illuminating the sterile corridors and windowless rooms. The psychological toll of such an environment would be immense. Confined spaces, lack of privacy, and the constant threat of danger could lead to claustrophobia, anxiety, and depression. The absence of familiar sights, sounds, and smells of the outside world would be disorienting, a constant reminder of the cataclysmic events that had unfolded above ground. Despite the challenges, those tasked with maintaining these bunkers and those chosen to seek refuge within their walls would be driven by a shared sense of purpose to ensure the survival of their nation, their way of life, and perhaps even humanity itself. They would be the keepers of the flame, entrusted with rebuilding a shattered world from the ashes of nuclear war. While Raven Rock and Mount Weather loom large in the public imagination, they are just two examples of a vast and secretive network of underground bunkers that spans the globe. From the Cheyenne Mountain complex, buried deep within the Rocky Mountains, to the P-76 bunker in Moscow, designed to protect Russia's political elite. These subterranean fortresses stand as silent sentinels, a testament to humanity's enduring fear of self-destruction. The exact number and location of these bunkers remain shrouded in secrecy, but it is safe to assume that every country with a nuclear arsenal, and many without, have made provisions for the survival of their governments and key personnel in the event of a nuclear attack. Some of these facilities are relatively small and Spartan, designed to provide temporary refuge for a handful of individuals. Others are sprawling underground cities, capable of sustaining thousands of people for months or even years. Regardless of their size or sophistication, these bunkers all serve the same basic purpose: to ensure the continuity of government and the preservation of some semblance of order in the aftermath of a nuclear war. They're a testament to the enduring human instinct for survival, even in the face of unimaginable destruction. But they also raise profound ethical and philosophical questions about the nature of power, the meaning of civilization, and the future of humanity in a world forever changed by the horrors of nuclear war. Continuity of government ensures state survival through a predetermined succession plan and essential services restoration. Designated survivors, chosen for their expertise, operate from secret locations to maintain governance. Designated survivors coordinate from secure locations to restore order and rebuild society. Regular drills test Koji protocols, but real-world chaos challenges their effectiveness. Koji raises ethical questions about prioritizing certain lives over others in a post-apocalyptic world. Selection for survival bunkers prioritizes essential skills, raising ethical dilemmas. Rebuilding society requires diverse skills beyond political and military expertise. Selection criteria balance technical skills with psychological resilience and teamwork. Choosing who survives raises profound moral and philosophical questions. Secrecy in survival planning raises concerns about accountability and human rights. The unimaginable has happened. A mushroom cloud rises, marking the beginning of the end. Chaos and terror grip the streets, A blinding flash engulfs everything, vaporizing objects and blinding onlookers. A searing heatwave ignites fires. Shockwaves level buildings and shatter glass. Debris and hurricane-force winds batter survivors. The ground shakes violently. A chilling silence descends. The air is thick with deadly fallout. The countdown has begun. Every breath and drop of water is a gamble. Deep beneath the surface, oblivious to the scenes of devastation unfolding above, sensors detect the telltale signs of a nuclear detonation. Alarms blare, lights flash, and the pre-programmed protocols of survival swing into action. The bunker, a silent guardian against the apocalypse, awakens. Within minutes, designated survivors, alerted by secure communication channels, are whisked away to predetermined rendezvous points, their movements shrouded in secrecy. Secret Service agents, their faces grim, usher high-ranking officials and their families into unmarked vehicles, speeding away from the looming threat as sirens wail in the distance. As the last of the chosen few pass through the massive blast doors, the bunker seals itself off from the outside world. Giant steel and concrete barriers designed to withstand unimaginable forces slam shut, isolating the inhabitants from the chaos and contamination above. The air filtration systems, working overtime, scrub the incoming air of radioactive particles, while backup generators hum to life, providing power to the subterranean city. Inside, an atmosphere of tense anticipation hangs heavy in the air. Military personnel, their faces betraying the gravity of the situation, scurry through the corridors, relaying orders and double-checking safety protocols. Politicians, stripped of their usual veneer of power, huddle together, their faces illuminated by the flickering glow of computer screens, desperately trying to make sense of the fragmented reports filtering in from the surface. The first few hours after a nuclear attack are a chaotic scramble for information, a desperate attempt to piece together the fragmented reports filtering in from the devastated regions. Communication systems, crippled by the electromagnetic pulse, offer only glimpses of the unfolding catastrophe, each distorted message adding to the sense of fear and uncertainty. Military satellites, their sensors, blinded by the nuclear detonations, struggle to provide a clear picture of the damage. Reconnaissance aircraft, dispatched to assess the situation, send back chilling images of smouldering cities, cratered landscapes, and massive fires raging uncontrolled across vast swathes of land. The scale of the devastation is almost impossible to comprehend. On the ground, the situation is even more dire. Emergency responders, overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the disaster, struggle to reach survivors, their efforts hampered by blocked roads, collapsed bridges, and the ever-present threat of radiation poisoning. Hospitals, those still standing, are quickly inundated with casualties, their resources stretched to breaking point. As the initial shock subsides, the true horror of the situation begins to dawn on those who have survived the initial blast. The world they once knew is gone, replaced by a nightmarish landscape of rubble, ash, and radioactive fallout. The struggle for survival has just begun. Section 4. The Long Shadow. Facing the reality of survival. Within the confines of the bunker, the initial relief at having survived the initial attack gradually gives way to a sobering reality. This is not a temporary crisis. This is the new normal. The world outside is no longer a place of safety and familiarity, but a hostile, unforgiving environment where survival is a daily struggle. The designated survivors, now thrust into roles they never sought and could never have truly prepared for, face the daunting task of leading a shattered nation from the brink. The decisions they make in the coming days, weeks, and months will determine the fate of their people and the course of history. The bunker, once a symbol of ultimate security, now feels like a gilded cage, a stark reminder of all that has been lost. The weight of responsibility, the knowledge that countless lives hang in the balance, weighs heavily on the shoulders of those entrusted with the keys to the kingdom. The road ahead will be long and arduous, fraught with challenges both foreseen and unimaginable. But amidst the darkness, the human spirit, that indomitable force that has enabled our species to overcome countless obstacles throughout history, flickers with a faint but persistent hope. The will to survive, to rebuild, to find meaning in the face of unimaginable loss. This is the legacy of the bunker, the enduring testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Through this exploration of secret bunkers and doomsday protocols, we've unearthed a disquieting truth. The survival of civilization rests upon a fragile thread. These plans, conceived in the Cold War, expose the precariousness of our existence. The notion of continuity of government raises profound questions about power and democracy. In the aftermath of a nuclear holocaust, would the rule of law survive, or would power flow from the barrel of a gun? Secret bunkers speak to a primal fear, a desire to escape our own actions. Yet, these fortresses can never truly shield us from the consequences. They remind us there is no escape from nuclear war's reality. True survival demands a rethinking of our values and priorities. The fragile thread of continuity offers a glimmer of hope, but it is a hope tempered by the sobering realization of our actions. The contemplation of nuclear war leads us into a moral labyrinth, a tangled web of dilemmas with no easy answers. Could we prioritize the survival of the few over the many? Would the preservation of the state justify the sacrifices made in its name? What moral compass would guide those rebuilding a shattered world? Selecting who lives and who dies challenges our ethical framework. It forces us to confront the dark side of human nature. The secrecy of nuclear survival planning raises questions about accountability. Decisions made behind closed doors risk corruption and erosion of human rights. The moral reckoning extends beyond hypothetical scenarios. It compels us to examine our society's values and choices. This reckoning demands honesty and introspection. True survival in the aftermath of a nuclear war requires a radical shift in perspective. We must move beyond bunkers and protocols to embrace a vision of survival that preserves humanity's spirit. It is about rebuilding communities, fostering trust, and nurturing hope. This vision demands transparency, cooperation, and shared responsibility. Can we escape our own destruction? The answer lies in our choices, individually and collectively. The shadow of the mushroom cloud is both a burden and an opportunity. It forces us to confront our potential for annihilation and examine our values. The path forward is ours to forge through dialogue and diplomacy. The question is not survival, but prevention. The choice is ours.